All right, so I'm going to now start reading from my other spirit board, um, and we're going to be asking about the power of water. Hold on one second. So I'm friends with a priestess named Yeye Ibukami. She's an Ifa priestess here in Atlanta. And Yeye Ibukami sometimes gives me tidbits of information from her Baba. And her Baba he's been a Baba for about 53 years, I think. So the first thing that I wanted to let you all know, and this is esoteric. It's about water. Water has no natural enemy, okay? Meaning that water is a neutral element. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not fast, it's not slow, it's not cold, it's not hot, it's not light, it's not dark. Water has no natural enemy. So with that being said, if you're using water to divine, it is the safest way to, like, for example, if you're trying to scry or use or enhance your clairvoyance and you don't want to use a crystal ball, you should scry into a cup of water. You should scry into a bowl of water. You should, consecrate things with water. You should take, if you're trying to do a cleansing bath and you're just like, I mean, no, actually, if I'm hearing this very clearly, if you're doing a cleansing bath, you need to throw some sea salt and lemon at least in that bath, but or some Epsom salt. But with that being said, water is a very powerful cleanser. It has no natural enemies. You can imbue it with whatever intentions you want it to have, and it will produce those effects. And water can contain energy. It can. You can, like I said, you can put your intentions in water. I think you all should look up scientific studies on that about, speaking positively towards water and speaking negatively towards water, and then using those different types of water to fertilize or feed plants. So with that being said, the first question that I'm going to ask my spirit board is, what is the importance of water as an offering to the ancestors? It says here, hold on one second so you all can see. It says water, it says elevates the universe. It says within the substance that is water, the properties allow it to hold cosmic energy, period. It says this allows you to send your prayers to the ancestors through water. It's just a portal to the spirit realm. It says water, it says, does also carry other magical properties. It says for ancestral worship, water, it says, opens the ancestors up to the physical world and helps them to send their blessings to their bloodline. It says, and water is important in offerings because it hold on. It nourishes the ancestors' spirits. It says they cannot work. It says on thirsty. It says stomachs. It says also water clears their throat chakras, allowing them to answer the prayers of their bloodlines more clearly and more quickly, period. Okay. So breaking that down, I want to say that some of the things that I'm realizing is that, spirits can have dry mouths and they need the water. It's like, I need a glass of water to, say this to you, da da da. But the thing is that if you have 60,000, I don't know if the number is 6 or 60, but if you have, let's say, 60,000 thoughts during a day, let's say about a third of them are from your ancestors. With that being said, it's important to give your ancestors water to quench their thirst because they're always talking to you. And sometimes people are like, I meditate and I can't really understand what it is that my ancestors have to say to me. I want to be able to understand them more clearly. And I'm like, you need to offer them water and give them water as an offering. Another magical element of water is that it's a portal. So, if, water, when you create your ancestral altar, and you leave water on the altar, whatever food you provide, water is a requirement for the altar. Okay. The foods are requirements as well, but the foods vary from ancestor to ancestor, from bloodline to bloodline. Okay. But the water, every ancestral altar that I've told someone to construct, my guides have always told them that they needed water on the altar. So with that being said, water allows for whatever offerings you give to the ancestors to be transported to them, because water is the energy of flow. Okay. Water is the energy of flow. So imagine that those spiritual currents flowing through water, whatever it is you send them, they then ingest, they receive. So if you give them 9 pennies, they didn't have money. They have currency on the other side to purchase things. If you give them a peach, they have something sweet and nourishing. They can sweeten up, a business deal that you're trying to acquire. They can sweeten up a job offer that you want. It's things like that. You have to get, and maybe I'll teach a course about, offerings, magic, and intentions, but let me all know if that's something that you would be interested in purchasing. But with that being said, for example, give your ancestors sweet fruits to sweeten things up with situations that you want to be changed. So yeah. My next question is, what useful techniques can we use to connect with the ancestors using water? What useful techniques can we use to connect with the ancestors using water? It says, exclamation point. It says a compelling question, exclamation point. It says 2 suggestions. First, it says write down. It says intentions on. It says water containers, and read aloud affirmations. No, as affirmations. So write your intentions down, but read them as affirmations. And drink from the water. It says, and this will empower your energy with, it says the spell it. It says it will empower your energy with the healing. No, it says empower your energy with the help of the ancestors. I'm sorry, period. The help of the ancestors. It says they will then be able to channel through you and give you information without thinking. It says, and you can, it says, invoke them. It says, to bring good luck and offer protection to you from your enemies. And second, this can be useful for, it says, attracting intentional outcomes. It says in situations. It says the power of, no, it says the magical properties of water allow water to be used for, it says, attraction spells. It says setting intentions and reading prayers aloud. It says will attract exact events and situations to you. It says over time. It says with a consistent reuse. It says of ingesting water as a spell, you will become more powerful in manifesting. Exclamation point. I hope that makes sense. So I'll explain it to you this way. Take a water bottle, like a gallon jug water bottle, and then get an expo marker and write different things on it. Write a prayer. Create your own prayer. And or create a spell. Like it's like every time I take, create a spell for yourself and consecrate the water. Take a couple of flax seeds, and say that, these flax seeds are magical. I'm putting these flax seeds in this water. And every time I take a sip of it, not only am I provided with protein, I'm also provided with the moral fiber of my ancestors. And watch what happens. We need to be drinking more water anyway. So yeah, take a gallon jug and do that. The second thing is, let's say you want a job and you need that job within a week. Continue to drink the water so as a reminder to that, you're continuously trying to set your intentions on acquiring new employment. It's the same thing as burning a candle. Burning a candle, you're putting your intentions in the candle and you're just allowing for them to burn. So with that being said, my next question is, for those of us who have ancestors who have died in the water, okay, now I'm specifically, and I'm being very explicit, I'm specifically talking about African Americans or, people whose ancestors died during the transatlantic slave trade, okay? But if you've had, like Tamika Raymond, I think her son died in the water. So with that being said, if you've had an ancestor who's passed away in the water, what can leaving an offering in the water do for them? Or a big body of ocean, a river. Let's see what this ancestor say. It says, for souls trapped in water. It says, okay, so souls that died in water are trapped in water. It says they will need to be, it says, helped to cross over from initiated priestesses and priests, period. It says this can be done by, it says initiated priests and priestesses. It says who can clear karmic debt from ancestral bloodlines. It says these rituals will help. It says the ancestors move more freely in the astral plane and will definitely help the, it says the ancestors to, it says clear your roads for building and developing institutions. Exclamation point. It says the ancestors who were, it says enslaved and it says died for, it says died for the sake of keeping you alive. It says it says requesting that, it says offerings be left for them to help them with crossing over. It says and to provide them with sustenance while working to help their bloodlines from between the planes, period. It says because the water, it says is a portal. It says these souls, it says have become accustomed, it says to, it says working here and have developed, it says a system of, it says support that will be taught only to those who are serious and dedicated and punctual with their offerings, period. All of this is saying that if you have an ancestor that died during the transatlantic slave trade and they drowned, let's say that ancestor may be an aunt or an auntie, okay? We don't know. They're essentially saying that that ancestor's soul is trapped between worlds, and this is something that's systemic. It's like Europeans knew that water is a portal, and to drown someone, it's like, think about it like this: you baptize someone in order to have so that they're born again. These people weren't baptized; they literally were thrown off ships, or their bodies were thrown off ships, or they were intentionally drowned, or they intentionally drowned themselves. With that said, their energy still rests in those oceans. So look up things like the Bermuda Triangle. With their energy still resting in those oceans, what they're saying is that our ancestors didn't rest on their laurels, being trapped between planes. So they're not on the spiritual plane. They're not exactly on the physical plane. They're between worlds. But they now learn how to use magic to support us between worlds. Okay? So that is something that, and I can't speak much about this because I'm part of that camp that hasn't worked with my ancestors that, died in the transatlantic slave trade. I've worked mainly with the ancestors that survived it and, are responsible for passing down my blood lineage. But with that being said, you all will start to learn new magical techniques. You will start to acquire new spells, and all of this will come intuitively, organically. Some of it will come through osmosis, meaning that you'll learn it from certain people, but a lot of it is going to be organic, intuitive, and through the dreams. Now, with all that being said, if you're at a beach, Give an offering to your ancestors, even if you don't know who they are. Just do it. Give them an offering. There aren't enough priests and priestesses in this world to help usher in, as Toni Morrison said, 60 million or more, 60 million souls, into the other realm. But those 60 million souls are the reason that the African American community or the Black community, whether it's in the United States, South America, Canada, Europe, the Caribbean islands, Japan, no matter where it is, those communities they still have a tight ethnic pride, and they still value family, and they have they may not always operate on this desire, but they have a desire to learn about their ancestry, and in learning about their ancestry, they then become more radicalized in their identity, and they don't take no shit. So with that being said, leaving an offering in the ocean and consistently doing that is going to open up doors that you've never seen before in your career, and it's going to introduce you to people that vibrate, similarly to me. You will come across people in your own network that are incredibly educated, that are race conscious, that care about the community, and that want the world to be at peace. But it all starts with water, the power of water. So drink more water. Please drink more water. You're going to hear me saying that a lot. Drink more water. All right, that's been the end of this session. I hope that you all enjoyed this. I've never done this before. I pretty much, freestyled this. Not saying that when I say I freestyled it, meaning that, I've never done something like this before. I didn't know which questions to ask about the power of water and, the power of our ancestors, but this is the information that they gave me. I hope that it was enlightening to you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for supporting my Patreon. Go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com and purchase a private psychic reading. I'll see you all later. Bye.
Homes now, we're standing on the rugged ground. It's a shame that I feel bad for them, but so glad for us. We have each other, and I just want this to last.